Welcome YouTube. Welcome back to Sin City Living. My name is Jason.
I'm Louie.
And this is this week's episode of Vegas Vice. We're doing a repeat. We'll probably do something along these lines a lot because there's a lot to do in Vegas. So we're once again going to talk about things that can be done in Vegas. Aside from gambling, because obviously you can gamble to your heart's content, or at least your wallet's content.
You can gamble at a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, you can gamble everywhere. You can gamble at the grocery stores.
Oh, yeah.
But don't worry, we're not going to do an episode about the best grocery stores with the best slot machine.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about things, again, that you can do non-gambling, more in line with adult kind of fun. So one of the things that we haven't covered yet are the speedways. There's a lot of speedways around with a lot of different things you can do. There's the Dale Earnhardt Experience with actual NASCAR. And there's the exotic car racing. The exotic car racing is a good time. I have a relative that's done it a few times, and it's pretty intense. It's a little bit pricey. You're looking at about probably about $500 per trip per episode. But you get to do X number of laps.
So you actually get the race.
It's not really racing because you're the only one on the track.
Okay.
But you get to
haul ass.
You get to haul ass. You get to drive it and when I say exotic cars, I'm talking exotic cars.
Nice.
Like Lamborghini Diablos.
Wow.
And they have Dodge Hellcats.
Holy cow.
Porsche 911 Turbo Carreras. I mean, if it's an exotic car, there's a real good chance that they've got it there. And yeah, they let you haul ass. I believe, I can't say for sure, but I believe you get a couple of laps with a professional driver driving it first, and then you'll be able to race it with the professional driver in the car with you to try and monitor. For the most part, people generally don't drive it nearly as hardcore as a professional driver will. Right. But there's always every so often I've read a couple of news articles, maybe twice over the last few years, where it actually got wrecked. I'm sure they have a pretty hefty insurance policy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For these like
$250,000
cars and $1 million cars, I'm sure they've got some pretty hefty insurance going. But that just proves that they let you cut loose. They'll let you go to town with these things. Obviously, the professional driver will probably tell you, hey, take it easy coming up on the turn and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a good time. If it wasn't so expensive, I'd probably go and do it. I'm something of a speed demon myself.
I'll save up one day. Maybe we'll film a video on it.
That would actually be something I think people would enjoy seeing.
Yeah,
we'd definitely take the cameras with us and
be a good time.
Interesting video. My relative that does it, he only does it if he's had a big hit. If he's had a big hit on the tables or on the slots, he'll put a portion of it aside.
I see.
And then head on out to the exotic racing, because why not?
Why not?
It's not every day you get a chance to drive like a Lamborghini Diablo and on a speedway with no speed limit.
Right.
Another great place that you can go to is Lake Las Vegas. I've never been there. Have you ever been there?
I have not. I've been to Lake Mead. I have not been to Lake Las Vegas.
I read up a little bit about Lake Las Vegas, and I know some people that have been there, and it's about 16, 18 miles east of Las Vegas Strip, so it's east side of Vegas, and I've seen some pictures of it. It's pretty decked out. They have on the lake. They have this big inflatable setup out there. It looks like various inflatable islands and bounce houses and stuff like that. And apparently it's like this inflatable playground basically for adults. But you can also rent boats. You can rent jet skis. You can rent paddle boards. You can rent those fly boards, those ones that fly all over the place that I would end up doing a lawn dart right into the ocean with.
That's pretty sweet.
Those things look like a blast, but I'd probably kill myself or just sit there flipping over and over until I threw up on my own shoes.
I imagine just getting to the point where you can hover a little bit is pretty difficult to,
Oh, I bet. Because those things you see,
that's funny.
They look like the board itself is drunk. But it's supposed to be an absolutely awesome place to go. I really wouldn't recommend it right now when it's about 38 degrees out. But unless you're, part whale. But in the summertime, I'm sure it's an absolute blast. Remember, this is the desert, so make sure that you bring lots of sunscreen and lots of water.
Lake Las Vegas, quick question. Do you know if it's a man-made lake?
That I'm not sure about, actually.
Yeah.
Isn't Lake Mead a man-made lake?
I believe it is.
It's because of one of the dams or something like that.
Something like that, I believe it is.
So you've been to Lake Mead, so why don't you talk about that one?
So Lake Mead is, I've heard, you hear rumors all the time growing up. It's filthy, it's dirty. It's a lake. You go there, you swim, you have fun. There is a little portion in Lake Mead where you can go cliff jumping, though. It's pretty badass. Yeah, they have.
Did you do it?
Oh yeah, did it a handful of times. They have like different level cliffs, and of course the higher up you go, the scarier it is. But man, you do not realize how high it is until you're in the air and you're like, okay, I'm falling. I'm still falling. Your feet hit the water. It hurts, man.
Water whistling through your ears.
No, but other than that, it's fun. You can take boats out Lake Mead, and I think I've been on a boat in Lake Mead when I was a kid. But yeah, growing up, going out cliff jumping and stuff like that was pretty fun.
So in the summertime, maybe we'll get some videos out around Lake Mead as well.
Oh yeah.
I think we may have already talked about it. There's also a dry lake bed.
There is a dry lake bed, yeah. I went out to the dry lake bed a few months ago, actually. Had a little bonfire out there. Hung out. Ate a bunch of s'mores. Oh my gosh. Now,
some burnt burgers.
The burgers weren't burnt, but the buns were toasty, boy. The buns were toasty. But yeah, it's a cool spot. It's a dry lake bed. You can do pretty much anything out there. In the daytime you see people riding their ATVs and their dirt bikes out there, going ham. Nighttime you see people digging holes and getting firewood ready.
Yeah, this is 60 years ago. If you saw people out digging holes, they were probably hiding a body.
You know what? I've heard that. Funny enough, out in the dry lake bed, I believe, is where they filmed a couple scenes out on for the movie The Hangover, where they had the meeting with like Leslie Chow and then the other guys, and then in the movie Casino as well. They went out to the dry lake bed and filmed that scene where Joe Pesci was meeting up with Robert De Niro.
Oh, right. Like 50 yards past the normal meetup spot.
Yeah.
In the desert.
Yeah. But other than that, there's a whole lot you can do out there. It's a dry lake bed, It's flat ground, go have fun.
Okay. Another great spot that you can go to inside the city limits if you want to unleash your inner Viking, I suppose, is a place called Axel. Axel is an interesting place.
Watch your mouth, sir.
I can't. My nose gets in the way. So Axel has these lanes. It's basically a range. It's they have lanes with fencing in between for safety, and with targets set up at the end. But these aren't paper targets because Axel, you can go there and you can rent packages where you go there and throw axes. They also have packages where you can throw a variety of other things: knives, Asian shuriken or throwing stars. Pretty much, if it can be thrown, they will rent it. And
they rent you a ball.
Aside from grenades and sticks of dynamite, but if it can be thrown and it's bladed or sharp, I'm pretty sure they will rent it and let you throw it.
That's pretty sweet.
They'll give you brief little safety thing to show you how to throw them with axes. Best overhand. You're not Gimli throwing one hand throwing an axe, but they'll have hatchets and tomahawks.
It's pretty sweet.
It's probably not quite the same sort of experience as say a rage room where you're just going to town and just breaking shit left and right. But it's probably unleashes some of the similar inner child of you.
Or inner Viking.
Or inner Viking, and they do allow photography and stuff like that. So we may film a trip out there one of these days to let you guys see what it looks like and how badly we throw.
Yeah.
And speaking of weaponry, the gun store. Now that just sounds like something you're searching for on the internet, but the gun store is the actual name of the store. It's not just a gun store. It's the actual name of the store, and there's a lot of gun shops in Vegas due to our concealed carry laws and desert shooting laws and stuff like that. So it's definitely a weapon heavy town. So there's gun stores. I know streets where there's gun stores on opposite corners.
Yeah.
But the gun store is it's in downtown Las Vegas. It's very large. They have 2 buildings. They have their main store and their firing range, and then they have another building that is set up almost like a conference or classroom kind of thing. Because in that building, they'll do things like concealed carry classes, weapon safety classes, like things along those lines. But this is the spot. This is the touristy spot. This is the spot that visitors to Vegas go to all the time, because they will rent you pretty much anything. If it's a firearm that doesn't shoot grenades, they will pretty much rent it to you and let you shoot it. You obviously can't shoot a Mark 19 grenade launcher, but you can shoot a 50 caliber machine gun. You can rent and shoot an M60 machine gun with a certain number of belted rounds. And how pricey it is kind of depends on your point of view, I suppose. You're looking at $150 or so to $500 for various packages.
Yes. With
multiple firearms,
right.
And associated rounds with them. You're probably going to spend the most on additional rounds. Have you ever shot an M60?
I have not.
The thing about the M60, like I know that their package, I haven't done it because I have shot probably a couple 100,000 M60 rounds. But the thing about their package, when you rent it, you get the machine gun and I believe it was 50 rounds, 40 or 50 rounds to shoot this M60 machine gun.
It goes like that though, especially if it's automatic.
Yeah, the M60 machine gun has a cyclic rate of around 660 rounds a minute, if I recall correctly. I could be wrong on that. It's been 20 years since I had to memorize all those specs, but 660 rounds a minute. So 50 rounds is about 4 seconds. Yeah.
You're done.
But I can also tell you that they probably don't let people just uncork the entire thing at once, because you're not going to hit anything.
Right.
You're not Rambo, one-handed shooting an M60, a fully automatic, and somehow managing to keep that weapon level.
Oh man, great movie.
I'm an experienced shooter that has shot M60s many, many times, including shoulder firing them, which is fun because they're about 30 pounds unloaded. And I can tell you that if I cranked out 50 rounds of M60 just unloaded, that the last few rounds would probably be in the ceiling. There are certainly times that you fire them fully automatic, but those are in specific situations, specific setups. For the most part, you shoot them in bursts. So I'm guessing the gun store probably has you shoot them in bursts, which also extends out the amount of time you're shooting them. And it's a lot of fun. And I'll tell you, the best part is you won't have to clean the gun, because those are a nightmare to clean. So it can be a good time, and you can literally rent anything. They'll have packages where you can shoot X number of rounds on an M60, X number of rounds through an M249 squad automatic weapon, which is a 5.56 belt-fed machine gun, X number of rounds in a fully automatic Uzi, X number of rounds in AK-47. They'll also have packages of individuals where you can rent just the AK-47 and X number of rounds, or just the Uzi. They'll have sniper rifles, 50 caliber Barretts, 50 caliber Desert Eagle AE pistols.
Those aren't fun to shoot.
No, they're not unless you've got forearms like a professional boxer. Those are not fun. That's like trying to one hand shoot a shotgun. It's not a good time. While holding a brick, because it's what they are. They're steel bricks that are absolutely massive and loud. I don't care what kind of hearing protection you're using. And if you do go to the gun store, one thing I would actually recommend, they will have the hearing protection, of course, for you. One thing that I recommend when you're shooting machine guns, shotguns on indoor ranges and things like 50 calibers and stuff like that, is get a set of earplugs and wear them underneath the ear protection. Because that sound is very sharp and will go through the ear protection. It still is unpleasant. But the gun store it's a good time. If you want to shoot things that you cannot legally shoot outside of the military, that's where to go. It's definitely a good time. You got anything, Louis?
As of right now, I don't. I mean, what else I like to do? I like to go and stuff my face.
We're definitely going to have a lot of episodes on restaurants, for sure. If we can, we'll take video and show you guys the restaurants that we go to. But we're going to have a lot of episodes on restaurants.
Be a good time.
Another thing you can do that is actually a low-cost thing is downtown. You can go skateboarding downtown.
Yeah, I've done a couple stints downtown skateboarding with a buddy of mine. It's a good time. Go sightseeing, go see all the graffiti art. It's pretty badass.
And a lot of it is most definitely art.
Oh yeah, it's got a bunch of pictures. It's pretty nice stuff.
There's some pretty amazing murals and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, Vegas is a great town. There's a lot to do besides the casinos.
Oh yeah.
For sure. If you guys have any questions or anything that you would like us to cover, make sure you put it in the comments or shoot us an email. And otherwise, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching this episode of Vegas Vice. I'm Jason.
I'm Louie.
We will see you guys next time.
Bye.